Welcome to the Work From Home Queen podcast, where we share a variety of work from home job opportunities in customer service, data entry, writing, freelance, and much more. Learn how to make extra money from home today.
Peace. This is the Work From Home Queen podcast coming through today. And today we're going to talk about the 6 tips on how to become a great work from home customer service agent or representative. Okay. It's more than just getting a job, getting hired. It's also providing the best customer service to these customers, So we're going to go over the main 6 tips that I will be sharing with you. Now, tip 1 is empathy over apathy. The simplest and most useful strategy for dealing with customers, whether they're polite and friendly or irritated or just upset, is to imagine yourself in their position. What would you want in a customer service representative? What would be frustrating or counterproductive? Most frequently, putting yourself into the mind of the customer helps you to access the needs and desires of the customer and makes your interaction more efficient and pleasant. So that's one thing about it in this work from home. Even being self-employed entrepreneur, this also plays a role because you have to think about the end user, that customer. Because again, you are the brand, you're putting on the brand of that company that's hiring you to handle the calls. You understand? Tip number 2, apologies and gratitude. Taking ownership of what has gone wrong, even when you yourself were not responsible for the flaw in the product, will give the customer the sense that they are respected and understood. Apologizing in a simple, direct manner from the get-go will give you customer the sense that you are on their side and that the company they're dealing with has enough humility not to cover over a mishap. Similarly, saying thank you, whether it be for their time and patience or for their friendliness and use of the product, goes a long way in fostering a friendly connection with the customer. Absolutely. Tip number 3, excuses versus explanations. Okay. When something has gone wrong in a customer's use of a product or service, they're likely to get frustrated in the process of fixing this wrong. Whatever has occurred has not only gotten in the way of their use of the product or service, but it has interrupted their day and forced them to spend time on something they wish they didn't have to think about. So with that in mind, it is important to remember that while explaining the root cause of a problem in precise, direct language is useful, making excuses for the problem is likely to annoy the customer and give them the sense that their time is being further wasted. If you aren't sure whether you are explaining or making excuses, your best tactic is likely to focus on creating a solution to the problem instead of fixating on the problem itself. Customers will be grateful for your efficiency. Tip number 4, learning the product. Oh, yes. For example, I didn't start using an iPhone until I started working for Apple, and I had to be familiar with iOS, Apple and their apps, everything regarding iPhone product because I worked for Apple at one time. So I had to understand what I'm dealing with here working for this company. So tip number 4 is definitely learning the product, okay? Closely related to knowing the difference between an explanation and an excuse. You should try to learn as much about the product or service you're dealing with as possible. This way, when a customer mentions a detail about the product in passing, you're familiar with the product enough that the detail is not beyond your comprehension. Customers who are upset or frustrated are more likely to calm down if they get the sense that person they're dealing with is deeply familiar with the product itself, so are well prepared to help them. This makes for a friendlier and more productive phone call. I definitely agree with that. Tip number 5, making the customer feel heard. Okay? Once a customer has finished describing the problem they're dealing with, repeating back a quick and clear summary of the problem will immediately establish your expertise to the customer and will instill faith that they are going to be taken care of. If their problem is complex, don't be afraid to ask clarifying questions. These too will make the customer aware that you really present and listen. Taking notes while on call can help you remain present and actively listening, and will ensure that you hear everything the customer needs. Oh, yes, totally agree. Tip number 6, all right, asking for feedback. Right along the same lines as listening closely, asking for feedback at the end of a call gives the customer a sense of control and provides you with the tools to improve your customer service techniques with every call. Be sure to use direct language along the lines of, if you don't mind me asking, is there anything I could have done differently today that would have made your experience better? By gathering this kind of information, you will soon know tips and tricks specific to the product you're dealing with and the demographics you're speaking to, which you will set on the right course for superb customer service. These tips will help you get better scores on your QA if you're working from home as a customer service agent or representative. Okay, I'm guarantee it. If you provide these tips I just shared to your daily work, regardless if you're a W-2 employee or independent contractor, okay, this could take you far in your work from home journey, guys. These tips that I'm sharing here, and it's all about helping each other. It's not just sharing work from home jobs. It's my due diligence to share tips to help you succeed in this type of position that you are in. So again, those are the 6 tips on how to be a great work from home customer service agent, because, sometimes it could be frustrating working from home. And that's where you really got to remove distractions in your environment so you can focus on the call every time. So it's very important to create your own private space in your home when you're doing this and not have distractions around you. So whenever you are doing your job, always, again, think about the end user. Always provide empathy over apathy. Always apologize and show gratitude. Always provide explanations versus excuses. You know what I'm saying? Always learn the product. Like I said, when I started working from Apple, I never had an Apple product, you understand? I had to go out my way to learn what I'm dealing with, because I couldn't be on a call with a customer and they're saying things about their Apple ID or their iTunes account if I didn't know it myself, you understand? So I had to make that investment, and it helped me further have good higher scores and everything. Also, remember that you have to make the customer feel heard. Again, you have to make them feel heard, because you was a customer for another company you called for, and maybe you did not get the professional service you deserve. So don't you know how frustrating that could be? So don't do the same thing to someone else, Always go far and beyond on every call that you deal with. It will take you further. You could grow, you could scale, you could even leverage and get promoted to a higher level by doing these tips here, okay? Last but not least, always asking for feedback. Always asking for feedback is definitely key here. So I just wanted to share these 6 tips to help you better your customer service job, for you to provide better customer service to the company you work for. Because that really matters, because they invested in you to represent them out here. So you have to go far and beyond, guys, because you as well were a customer. You were a customer whenever you have to call to pay a bill. Who wants to be waiting 30 minutes and things like that? Or a customer rep that's not really understanding your situation. No one wants to be put in that scenario. So definitely take what I just shared, apply it to your daily tasks working from home with the company you work for, guys. It will take you far. Trust and believe that. Thanks again for checking out the Work From Home Queen podcast. All right. Peace and blessings to you. Enjoy your day.
Thank you for listening to the Work From Home Queen podcast. Please like and share. Check out our blog, www.theworkfromhomequeen.com, and Facebook, The Work From Home Queen.